In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make these stylish 6x9 planners in Affinity Publisher 2. It's not too late to make these and start selling them on KDP or wherever else you want to sell these interiors. In the video, I go over data merge again. I also include a free gift at the end, which is the data merge file that I use. It's available on Gumroad, linked below. There is a discount code. You'll have to watch the video to find out what it is. And if it seems like too much hard work to make these planners, you can download them. I've got them on the Etsy store. I include 3 in the file. There's a plain one, this dog and cat one, and then a kind of stylish palm leaf one. All 3 for under £3. That too is linked in the description. Here we are in Affinity Publisher 2. We're going to start with a 6x9 document. This is the one that I've already set up. Page width and height. I've got the margins and I've got the blade. We're going to work in master pages, and each double page spread is going to be a week. So on the left hand side we'll have the month, then we'll have a section for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Over this side, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday divided into 2. We are going to use data merge, and we are going to use my secret weapon / special file, which is the 2024 planner merge data file. Now you can see across the bottom of this workbook, I've got a lot of worksheets open. I've been using this since 22 when I just add to it. I've even got 2025 on. And basically the data in this page will be merged with the document, and we'll have roughly 107 pages with some of these details across. Now I'm not going to use them all. I'll probably only use the date, I would imagine, the actual date column. But I've used these in other planners, so it's handy to have them all. What I will do is I will upload this just 2024 to the Gumroad shop. You can download that for free. Near the end of the video, I'll put a password on, a discount code, so you can type it in, and you'll get this file for free, and you can use it to make all of your 2024 planners. The other option is, of course, just make it yourself. It's simple, just a column for the date of the day. I've got a short day there, a month, and a year. So now back to the actual design of the book. I'm going to plot out some rough areas where I want things. So I'll just do a normal text box. Obviously be mindful of the margins if you're adding text anywhere. And I'll just centerize that. This might change. I'll just put month in there. I can change the font. Any change that you make in the master page will be replicated throughout the normal page. But for each data merge, for each item of data that's merged, so this will be fine, but when I start adding in the details here for the date, once the document goes through the merge process, changes in the master page will not affect the merged elements. I'll show you that a little bit later on though. Now to divide this into 3, we are going to use the table tool. So I'll just draw out a rough, so we only want one column, but I'll stretch it all the way out. I'm next going to set up the spacing for the lines. So I'll select all of the cells, go to the table tool in the top right corner, and I'm going to change the height of the cells to 7mm. Now obviously we're working in inches, but it converts it, so that's fine. The next thing I'm going to do is set out the actual. So this is a table. I don't want it to be. It looks like a table, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to select all of the cells again, and I'm going to remove the outside vertical lines. So now it looks like that. The next thing I'm going to do is select all but the top cell, and I'm going to change the line into a dotted pattern, and I'm going to select all the interior horizontal, and I'm going to change the line into a dotted pattern. Now you can mess about with how the dots look with this, but I think bog standard is fine by me. So there we go. The idea is I'll have the day of the week here. So I'm going to start off on a Monday, and I'm going to have a data merge point here for the date, which will just be a number. So I'll bring the font size to about 12, and I'll align this centre and in the middle. And I'll just type in Monday. So that's how it'll look, and we'll have the actual date over there. I want to mess about with the fonts now a little bit just to find something I like. I've just foolishly realised that I'm actually working in, I'm doing it in the pages. I should be in the master page. So I'll just cut that, and I'll put it in the master page. There we go. So pretend that didn't happen. So now I will just mess about with the font. The idea for this is we'll have a basic interior and then we'll accessorise the outside of it. So I want the font to be just a generic font, a smart looking font, but something that can be used with multiple decorations. For example, I wouldn't want to use a dog paw font because it would make sense in a dog paw. It would make sense in a doggy diary, but not in an Art Deco one. So we'll go with Kandara. Just because it's a nice modern font. Is that correct? I don't know. It's a nice looking font. Now I'm just going to copy this 3 times down this page for Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll copy all of them onto the other side. So select the table, Control Shift, click and drag, and again click and drag. Now I'm just going to space these out a bit more evenly, so I'll pull the bottom one to where I want the bottommost day segment and select them all. Go to alignment and then space evenly. Now what I might do, because there's a gap there, that's that kind of, I don't like that gap basically. So what I'm going to do is move the top one up a little bit, or maybe a fair bit, and then again do the realignment. There you go. So now it looks more like a line, and because of that I'll change the bottom line of each table to the dotted pattern. There we go, that doesn't look too bad at all. I'll shut that down for the time being. And now I'm going to copy all of these across. So again, with all 3 selected, Shift Control, and just drag them to the other side. Now because this bottom one is going to be technically 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, I need to shrink that down. We'll keep it at half for the time being. I'll copy and drag that over there. Just make a small gap. There you go. Now I'll change these date titles. And that's it. That is the basic template for the 6x9 journal. We're now going to set up the data merge. In Affinity 2, we'll go to Windows, Data Merge Manager, and we'll select the Excel file by clicking on Add Data Merge Source. Now as you can see, all of the sheets are in the drop-down box, and we just want sheet 2024. If you do download the file from Gumroad, you'll just have this 2024 sheet, so there'll be no need to mess about changing that. We also want to change the page range. So this is the pages that the data will be repeated to pages 2 and 3, and then it'll cycle through those pages until it runs out of data. I don't want to generate yet because I haven't set anything up. I haven't set the spaces where the dates will go. Now to do that, we need to go on the data merge tool, data layout tool, sorry. And I'm just going to drag the box there. Now it automatically gives you 2 rows and 2 columns, but we only want 1 column and we want 3 rows. And just mess about until you get them in roughly the right place. I've made videos on data merge before, and we'll look through the channel and find them. But this data merge layout makes things a lot more simple. So as you can see now, the top of each data merge cell is at the top of each table. And now anything that we put in these, anything that we put in one of these layout cells will appear in the other 2. So in here I'm going to put the date, but before that we need a text box for the date to go into. So grab the text tool, I'll just draw it over here and then I'll pull it into the right place. So as you can see, it's gone inside the data merge, so that's fine. I'll just pull that into there. Make it as big as you want. I'm just mindful that when it comes to Saturday and Sunday, we need the text box to be a little bit, it won't have as much room to fill in the date, so I'm going to make that smaller now. Now you can't tell, but this text frame is repeated in here and in here. I'll prove that to you now by going to Window, References, Fields. So this is where you insert the data that you want merging and repeating. So these are all the ones from page 2024 from that Excel sheet, and there's the date that we want. So with the text box selected over here, double click date and it's in there. And you can see it's populated the rest of the tool. I'm just going to make that a shade smaller. That's fine. And now I'm just going to drag this. Now I'm just going to Shift Control drag this down to the other page. So selected, Shift Control drag. So that's now filled the date in Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And I just need to add another one here for Sunday. So again, I'll just shift control, drag it over to Sunday, and then I'll move the rows down just to 1, and then I'll just shrink this down to get it onto Sunday. There we go. And now by magic, when you merge the document, you'll start in this top left corner. So we're down here, so we'll probably hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So this is what the finished document will look like from a layout point of view. There's a big blank space here, which I think I might maybe... Well, let's put a notes section in there for the time being. So make a small notes, and then we'll draw a rectangle. I'll just change the stroke to 1, change it to a line. Now we'll position this. So with this blank space, you add what you want, but I think notes would look, canny there. And then I just want to change the background of this text box to be white, so it kind of stands out from the black square. I'll just shrink that in a bit so you can see. So we'll go to Windows, text frame, and we change the fill to white. And then in the Layers tab, drag the notes above the rectangle. And I'll just put it into preview mode so you can see. So that's roughly what it'll, well, not roughly, that's exactly what it'll look like, but with the dates being substituted for numbers. So now we'll go into the pages, just to make sure that looks fine. Yep, that is fine. I'll clear the master from there. And now we're going to merge the document. So we open up the Data Merge Manager, and all this is already set up, but just to remind you, the correct sheet is selected, pages 2 to 3, so it'll repeat 2 and 3 until it runs out of data, and then generate. And here we have the merged document. So now I have the date, the day. We'll edit this to include the correct month at the top. We'll have a notes section. Now that number 7 looks a little bit too low down for my liking. I probably didn't get the alignment quite right. Or does the number 6 look too high? I think the number 6 is too high, so I'll just go back into the original document and change that. And that's a bit better there. I think it's probably the choice of font that's making that sit a little bit higher. When the numbers have a little bit more of a tail, it lines up perfectly. So the next job to do is to change all of these months into the correct month. So what I do is fill these in as you would normally, and then when you get to an overlap month, which I'll show you in a second. So next week will be an overlap month. So here we'll start off January and it switches to February halfway through. Let's go Jan, Feb, and then start fresh with February here. So I'll crack on with that, and this is it. This is the final document. I think that looks pretty good. Changing these, Adding the months was probably the most time consuming bit of the lot, to be honest. Now the next thing to do is to add something to this title page. Generally it's just an if found please return sort of message. But you can add anything you want. You can add images. If you're going to niche down the diary, you could niche down onto here, or you could just use the plain interior and use the covers for the niche. So I'm just going to use a generic cover for here, generic cover page. So it'll just be text, and we'll just say this belongs to if found please contact. And that's it. You can add lines to this if you want to indicate where you should write on, but most people know where to write. I'll just align this to the middle of the page as well. And that's it. That's your basic diary. I'll export this and I'll show you what it looks like. So to export, we'll go to File, Export. You can open Preflight if you want, but it's generally just things that aren't important. I'll just set up bleed hazard. Oh, it's because it's hanging over the edge. So again, that doesn't matter because there's no text going to be popping up the bottom of here. So all that's fine. Ignore and continue. We're going to export as a PDF for print, and we're going to change the spreads into pages. And here's the PDF. So that's the simple title page. January, first week of. I think that looks pretty swish. I should say that if you don't want to take the time to make this yourself, I will make this interior available from the Etsy shop. It won't be expensive. I'll link to it in the description. And I might even throw in a couple of different variations. Niche down for different different audiences. I'll show you how I niche down these sort of books, and to do that I'll do it in master pages again, and I like to use the white spaces in between the boxes and the text and things like that. I like to use that space as a space for patterns. So to do that, first of all you need to find some patterns you like. So we'll go to Create Fabrica. So I'm just going to type in black and white, let's say line pattern. Now you can type in whatever your niche is going to be. They'll be interesting. Dog patterns, cats. Let's try it. Let's try a dog pattern. Cat and dog faces. I'll link to this in the description. So now in master pages, I'll use the place image tool and I'll drag the image across the entirety of the document, including the bleed. We'll do a cat and dog image. Now because it's seamless, I'm just going to copy it a few times. So this was 300 dpi, which is grand enough for this sort of use I'm using. Just group those together. And now I'm going to send them to the back. And as you can see, that's copied all the way through the rest of the pages. But it's left us with the problem of we can't see the actual date boxes because the pattern's in the way. And there are a couple of ways around that. You can select all of the cells in a table and change the cell colour to white, like that. As you can see, it changes into the main pages. The other option is to draw a square over all of the tables, all of the bits you want visible, make it white, and then we'll just drag this to just above the group. I'll just change the notes panel to white. You can change the opacity if you want to make the pattern a bit visible underneath. Probably not loads. Maybe like that will be okay. But I think I'm going to go with this method. I'm going to change the table cells to white. So again, select all of the cells. You can change the opacity on here as well if you wanted to. You'd probably really knock it down 1% or 2. And I'll change this text box colour background to white as well. And this is the pattern planner now, the pattern diary. So the contents is the same, it's just the addition of a background pattern. You can also add something to the cover page as well. So that is it for today's video. I'll put the Excel file onto Gumroad. There will be a price on there, but if you enter the code Dead Pony, that's DEADPONY, Dead Pony, all one word, then you'll get it for free. Remember, if you don't want to go through all this rigmarole, check the Etsy shop. I'll have the simple planner, I'll have this dog planner, and I'll put another planner on there, and it'll be a few quid, not loads. There is a sale on at the minute, so any of the files that I've got on there you can have for, I think it's 40% off. And you can do whatever you like with them. Print them and use them yourself, or sell them on KDP. It's fine by me. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.